Yes, sir. We back. We back.
We
Yes,
back.
sir. All right. You just gonna take that from me?
I mean, I'm saying though, like that. We back.
Yes,
It's
sir. We
catchy.
back. We back.
We back.
Nutty North presented by Mojo Sports Gear. On the Score on Air Network on Facebook.com. I am Rondell Sutherland here with T Nesbitt as always, and then we got a special guest right over there, Dustin Tanner.
We done found us a Steeler fan.
Yeah.
I've been
That's
looking
crazy.
for you.
Yeah.
But how you doing, T?
Oh man, I'm living the dream. At least at this current moment, until we get to talk about my Browns. It's gonna be a nightmare. But I'm cool. I'm here. So it's a lovely day again. We back in springtime, Ohio. I'm cool with it. So I'm good with those. It's the small things. The weather looks nothing like it did in Cleveland, so I'm cool.
Okay, all right. And Dustin, go ahead and tell us about you a little bit. I mean, we can see your favorite team is the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan, die hard. But normally not on the sports end, so but yeah, I'm here to rep my Steelers because everybody want to talk stuff, especially T man. Um, but I'm a movie director, by trade, so but I'm always down for sports and stuff. So
Okay, all right.
He only on here because they undefeated.
Nice.
They was 4-4. He wouldn't be on here.
I'd still be repping.
He wouldn't be on here. He'd be repping the team, but he wouldn't be on here.
We still got the most.
But undefeated.
Cool.
I don't know about that one.
Knock on the door.
I don't know about that one.
It's all gravy. They gonna get their flowers
I
today.
want to say Tom Brady got the same amount of Super Bowl rings they do.
Yeah, that's true. In a far shorter amount of time, might I add, but yeah, I'm tripping with that one.
But since you mentioned that they are 7-0, let's look at these standings, and we see they are still up on top at 7-0, with Baltimore coming in second at 5-2. The Browns at 5-3, and my lowly Bengals at 2-5-1.
Whoa! Don't you my lowly Bengals? They coming off a fresh dub like that.
I know they are coming off a fresh dub.
What? Break up the Bengals.
I gotta say how I feel.
Man, I don't know.
Look, I love that they came off that dub against the Titans. We was looking together. It was complimentary football, but they still at the bottom, man.
Well, I mean, Joe Montana and Jerry Rice about to get them to the top. Boy, they've been playing Mr. Burrows and T. Higgins. Boy, I'm gonna give me a jersey.
Yeah.
All right, Who Dey Nation.
Right. Yeah, but how y'all feel about them standings? Start off with UT.
I mean, it's somewhat of a shock to an extent. I mean, I looked at the top three teams being the standings being what it is. I expected that. As far as the Bengals being last place, the Browns, Steelers, Ravens kind of fighting it out. I didn't expect the Steelers to be undefeated at this point in time. I know. Shout out to Adam Dale. He thought it was going to be the Ravens that would be undefeated. Right conference, wrong team, or excuse me, right division, wrong team. But I'm about okay with where they're at because I figured it would be somewhere around this area. I just thought a couple of wins, losses would win a different way here and there. But I mean that's football too. There's still three teams that look like they're likely headed for playoff spots. So in that AFC North, I always looked at it as being a tough division, even with the Bengals. I know we talked about it a lot here that there's a ton of opportunity for the Bengals to win those games that you don't really expect them to win, and the Titans were a great example of that. So the division, even though the Bengals are at the bottom, the division is still super competitive from the top to the bottom. So I mean, it's like I said, it's what I expected. It's just different wins and losses here and there, but it's about where I thought it would be.
Okay, how about you, Dustin? Especially if you're still at the top.
I'm extremely excited. I can't say that I wasn't worried for a second, especially with the Ravens, because we always battle it out. So I was a little worried at first, but once I start seeing us play, I'm like, okay, we got this. I was actually shocked about the Titans. Like my heart went into my stomach a little bit. But when he missed that kick, I'm like, oh, we good. Because I thought that was gonna be our first L, to be honest. But I'm extremely happy with where everything is. I mean, I expected some Ohio team to be at the bottom. I didn't know which one, but I expected one of them to be at the bottom.
How you feel about that too?
I mean, he ain't wrong. So
I mean, yeah.
I mean, but again, it's the kind of flip flop nature of that division
Right.
because this is the first half of that. Like easily, the Steelers can lose another couple games and it'll be flipped. The Ravens can go on a run; it can be flipped. Excuse me, the Browns can go on their run; it can be flipped. That division is still room for error, even at it being where it's at now. I tell you, one thing that makes me happy is the fact that we're even talking about 8 games or 7 games being done in that division that we've got this far. I know COVID is definitely being up in the air if we will get that far, and there's definitely been some hiccups along the way, and there's been teams, and I know the Titans and Steelers game. I think that was the game that was moved around because of the COVID situation, but it's just good to see the games being finished and teams for the most part being able to have all hands on deck. Like it hasn't, at least to this point, not to my recollection, been any kind of super change of somebody being out because of COVID that changes the direction of either team. Like, if the Steelers lose Schuster or something like that, or Fitzpatrick or Watts or something like that, then it's a whole different ball game. COVID changes something like that. If the Ravens lost Lamar Jackson for a couple games due to COVID. You know what I mean? Like all those things were a possibility. What we were looking down the barrel at, and to not have any of that happen, that's what gives me a lot of optimism. So, and again, I know it's still a long way. We've gotten a long way, but we still have a long way to go to really truly decide this division.
Okay, all right. I guess when it comes down to it, when I look at that standings, I still do look at my Bengals as the lowly Bengals. We are the underdogs right now. I mean, we're looking way better than other teams like Dallas, Washington, well, just the whole NFC East, to be honest. But I still look at us as the lowly Bengals, and I mean, coming off that win, I am happy we got that win. I am a little surprised we got that win. I'm very surprised we got that win, but especially going into this bye, I'm a little excited. I'm a little excited. We got the Steelers next after this bye, and we about to topple a giant. I know that much.
That might be what it's set up for, though, because that's I mean, and that's not a bad thing to be if that's what it's going to be. Like if you're the Bengals and you lose a lot, but you win some of those tough games, or you beat division winners, or you beat tough competition with a young team, that's the best thing you can do because that it kind of moves you the next year into a spot where I feel confidence when I'm playing them because Joe Burrow already looks super confident.
All right.
Now you just have to build around it because that's the question of the day. That's the question of the year. Is he the right guy? I know me personally, and I'll take up and I'll stand it. I'll stand on it. I thought Chase Young should have been a pick. Not really had that much to do with Joe Burrows. It had more to do with my love for this class, but it was the Bengals found their guy. They stuck to their guy. They went for him. And to me, no matter what, when, how you get your quarterback, as long as you have your quarterback, that's all that matters. And when you really look at the Bengals, you break them down, they have a great start to have some sustained success. The AJ Green thing seems to kind of start to work his way out. Who knew that all the man need to do is get a couple balls thrown his way a little bit more, and that'll change his whole attitude.
I mean, I could have said. I felt like I said that the whole time.
I mean,
the same thing with like Joe Mixon. Give him some reps, we win some games. You saw what happened.
Give my boy Gio some reps. As a matter of fact, shout out to Gio Bernard. Let me go ahead and put that one out there. Appreciate all those fantasy points. Him and Mr. Tyler Boyd. It was a great week, man. I was a Bengal fan this week.
That's actually another thing. You should change that around and thank me because I dropped Gio for you to get Gio.
Why would I thank you for your
because
decision making?
Bro, okay. If anything, see the last show we was here, we went together. We went up against each other. The last time we was here, I won. By the way, I won one-handedly, if I think correctly. But I'm just saying, I won, and then I dropped Gio. So you should thank me that after beating you, I gave you a chance to win.
So you're the Bengals of our fantasy league, then, aren't you? You're a Bengals fan and the Bengal in the fantasy league.
Probably.
That is wild. But I mean, who did you drop Gio for? That's what I want to know.
I want to say Dallas something. I want to say he was Seattle's running back. I want to say he third string.
You deserve the losses you
Bro,
get.
Carson is down. He gave me like 30 points, I think.
You should be
No,
ashamed.
I
of
dropped him
yourself.
for Tony Pollard. That's who I dropped him for.
Tony Pollard.
And then I dropped Tony Pollard for Dallas Clark or Dallas something.
Tony Pollard wouldn't have dropped Gio Bernard for Tony Pollard. Why would you do such a thing?
I dropped him for Willie Snead. That's what I dropped him.
Willie Snead.
I needed a receiver, and then I dropped Willie for Christian.
Three and 5.
Yeah, I'm sitting at 3 and 5 now.
No wonder you 3 and 5.
Hey man, I'm sitting better handsome than I was 2 weeks ago. I was like 1 and 5 or 1 and 4 or something.
I can't say too much. I'm 4 and 4.
Should have picked up my boy Claypool.
I had Claypool. I dropped him. I dropped him like week 2.
I know he feel bad.
So basically, whoever wins this fantasy league is going to be happy because of Rondale. Rondale is shout out to him for that one.
Man, I fed off of what Coach was saying. Shout out Coach. I saw he shared out the stream.
My guy,
I fed into what Coach said, but he didn't show up in that Arizona game. I think that was like week 2, and I was like, why I got this guy? Dropped him. He showed out the next game. I'm like, all right.
You can't treat your fantasy players like you treat your women, man. You have to have a longer leash. Like,
why you gonna put that out there?
They over there listening to Beyonce about to move on with their life, and it's because of you. Well, when I'm hosting that trophy at the end of the season, I'll be happy because I'm only one spot out. I'm coming. Y'all hear that? The rest of the score squad, I'm coming. Shout out to y'all. But yeah, man. Overall, though, this is, like I said, it's great that we get to talk about this, and we're having these conversations because, again, we never was 100% sure if we would be able to get this far in the whole football season. So, again, shout out to these teams for being pretty much what we thought they were. And it's a good thing to represent that division because, again, you could be the NFC East where every team stinks and you still have to get a playoff team, or you can be a more deserving, division. And to me, it's great to play in this division too because it builds kind of that wall of I ain't worried about nobody else because I'm playing toughness every week. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I don't even want to say not to harp on Dallas because I plan on putting their face in the mud all the time with this one. But that division, it's a lot of bye weeks, so to speak, on here. So it's kind of like the AFC North. It gets you tough. The AFC North is like a punch in the chest every day. You know what I mean? It's not for the weak at heart. It's not for the softies. And I think it can work in your favor where you see one of these teams hosted the Lombardi Trophy at the end of it because they're so mentally tough and they're so ready for whatever. Or it can work against you by you get beat up so much by the time you hit the playoff spot, it could be over for you. I don't know. I don't want to say that's what happened to the Ravens last year, but that might explain why they disappoint. And that might explain why that 14-2 might have been kind of a bad thing because you kind of got your rocks off. And by the time you got to somebody else, you wasn't really ready. So that's going to be another interesting note to see.
I mean, speaking of, not trying to throw y'all off, but them Cowboys that we play next week, well, Sunday rather, I'm thinking we looking pretty good because they not. Them Cowboys is.
Yeah, they trash. Yeah,
they trash.
Yeah, I mean they got probably 1 to 2 more wins on that schedule. Yeah.
This would have never happened if they would have paid Dak.
I don't know about that one.
I'm just saying.
Even when they had Dak, they wasn't that good. To be honest.
I mean, no, but they would have been at least a little better. I would think. I mean, they just had Danny DeVito play quarterback for them last week. So at the end of the day, you can't get much worse. Like we was talking about what you could be yesterday and the type of athlete. I think Dallas Cowboys use Rondale at quarterback. That's a good job for you. I think anybody on this panel could be a Dallas quarterback.
Put me in that running back. I'll actually block
over Zeke
does. Yeah, man. Man, he don't step up. He get ran over too much. He don't step up.
I don't know, man. Zeke done got too much on this diva stuff. I should have knew something with the crop top, man. Something should have told me he was gonna be a little bit off. Did he get the nose ring, bro? It's all bad. But we'll see how they figure it out. But again, I mean, it's a good thing we're not that division. So at least we get entertaining football to watch.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm cool with it.
Okay. All right. So let's talk some injury updates. I want to say Joe Mixon, he's still out with a toe injury that he got I forgot which week we played the Colts, but that's where he got that. It was his foot or his toe. He's still out for that. But as you said, we looking good for what was you shaking your head for?
So is Joe Mixon hanging out with Meg the Stallion and Tory Lanez?
Okay, bro.
That was what happened. You shot me in the pinky toe.
Oh,
Dang, Joe.
right, so we getting canceled.
Well, we get canceled every week, so
I mean, this time we definitely get canceled.
Well, we definitely get canceled every week, so I mean, we still here, baby.
Yeah,
we still here.
Somehow. But yeah,
pretty much every week.
Pretty much.
Get that little piece of paper.
Either he's saying something reckless, or I done alluded to something reckless, and he done picked it up. It's
reckless, man. FCC, don't worry me.
But yeah, Joe Mixon's still out. But like you said, with Gio, we don't really have any worries at that spot. Plus, we had a bye right now, so it gives him time to heal up. Nick Chubb's still out, right?
Yeah,
but y'all got a bye,
so
that helps.
That should bring you back by that. I don't know if they're playing it a little more cautious, just looking at the record and everything. But I know Chubb.
He's 5-3.
Yeah,
y'all just lost to the Raiders. How you lose to the
we
Raiders?
could use Chubb in, but I think that bye week he buys you an extra week. I just hope he was ready to play last week. Like it could have been one of them situations where he was ready or close to being ready, and because we definitely need, especially with Beckham being out, we need that home run ability. We need that consistency. It's just. We need him to be healthy though. So luckily we have Kareem Hunt, which I think is the best backup running back in the entire NFL. So we'll be fine. It's just more so just getting healthy, getting your breath. We lost a tough one to the Ravens. I mean, not the Ravens, excuse me, the Raiders. But that was more so now we get a chance to recruit, regather, get more healthy, and see what else, because Myles Garrett was hurt too. So he wasn't hurt as bad as Nick Chubb, but he needs to get fresh too. So I know they said that if there was a game this week, he'd be able to play. So a lot of it comes down to that though, is just keeping everybody together and keeping everybody healthy and safe. So again with the COVID thing, I know it's a lot different to train and keep yourself as healthy because you can't just go into the stadium anytime you want now. You can't just work out anytime you want now. It's different protocols and stuff you have to deal with. So, we always thought that was going to be something you have to worry about, the little nicks and knacks of the injuries. But I don't think there's too many long-term injuries, at least as of now, with any of the AFC North teams.
Okay, all right. But, yeah, like you said, y'all don't have no worries, especially on the bye.
No.
Now, with Odell, what's the situation with Odell?
Yeah, that's actually a good question.
He's going to be out the whole entire year. I think it was an ACL, I want to say. So with that,
enough about him being out the whole year.
Nah,
is he going to be?
Other than he want to play with y'all.
Yeah, are y'all going to still have him on that team?
My thing is,
a lot of people are saying, a lot of people saying this is last year with that.
I don't care what a lot of people say. I care what Odell Beckham said. And the last time I heard
Odell was the one saying
I never heard it out of his mouth. Last time I heard him talk about the Browns, he was saying that he was pretty much as happy as he was being. Now that could have been football talk. But at the end of the day, I'ma still trust what the actual source is more than the sources.
I guess,
I thought it was something.
If he want to play on the Doo-Doo Browns, we know what he likes.
He's in the Doo-Doo Browns now.
Yeah, nah, you're still the Doo-Doo Browns.
He did get a whole car tailored to him.
But if he doesn't want to be there, me personally, I'm one of those. Get your Fantasia on. Free yourself. If that's the case, free yourself.
How old are you, bro?
Old enough to be your do you want to ask that question again, son?
No.
But at the end of the day, I don't want nobody, and that's just the way I deal with life. Period.
Right.
I don't want nobody around that doesn't want to be around. I'm not going to make anybody be around. I'm not Tank. I'm not going to make you love me. None of that. Yeah, I got them all day. Today I got Todd. But if you don't, we'll trade you. If you don't, we'll cut you. If you don't have to be here.
Right.
It's all gravy. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be here, latch on, come play. Let's get some dubs. If not, do your thing. But he doesn't have no choice in that matter. Neither do I. At the end of the day, it's going to be Andrew Berry that makes that decision, and I think it was a good thing anyway. Like, rather, if this is the last time we see Odell Beckham in a Browns uniform, it ain't the worst thing. Because we did bring him on, we did show that we can have talent here, and I mean, he could have been in a better spot. He could have had better performances. Sure, Baker Mayfield could have played better last year. I think he was starting to do it this year, but if was the fifth, we all be drunk. There's just certain things that are out of your the realm of what you can do. So he needs to worry about getting himself healthy more than anything, and that restocks everything, like his own value, his trade value, all that. As right now, it's a moot point because he's sitting there, hopefully watching this. What's up, Odell?
He's definitely not watching this.
Don't be a hater, bro.
He's definitely not watching that.
Odell thinks we're cool.
Nah, he's watching Stephen A. just ripping to him. Probably.
That's worse. Why would you choose to watch Stephen A?
Well, why not watch a bigger network than this small network?
What makes them bigger? Just because they have the ESPN name?
I mean, they got the history.
We'll take that over at some point.
Yeah, at some point, but
coming.
not right now. Man. We coming. But shout out to Linda Danielle for watching, and she said, "Go Browns." So
I love you, Linda.
I don't know why, but you know, thanks for watching. Just let's not comment that again.
You my girl, Linda. Right. Call me.
But
we going out to party. Me and Linda about to get some Dunkin' Donuts. Watching the Browns game. I'm gonna have her help me with my fantasy picks so I can not lose to Rondell again.
Yeah, that's not gonna help you at all. But another significant injury within the AFC North is Mark Ingram. I guess that's not that significant because J.K. did a decent job against the Steelers.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's what they prepared for, though.
Yeah, they got depth at that position.
Yeah, when they picked up J.K., it was you would looked at it on the surface and say, well, why would you draft a running back in the second round? Well, reasons like this.
Yeah.
You know, Mark Ingram, he's not stupid. One, Mark Ingram's always pretty much worked in the committee kind of thing anyway, running back. And, I mean, he knows that his time is coming up because running backs, you have a short shelf life. And he's a team player, so, I mean, I think if for him and for everybody, that might be the best thing for him is let him sit down a little bit, you know, get himself together because he's an inside runner, more of a pounder guy. He's going to take a lot of hits. It's going to take a wear and tear on your body. You don't want to lose Mark Ingram come December, January, you know. So then that's kind of a growing theme for all these teams that are competing for those spots. You don't want to lose somebody long term by doing something, you know, stupid now in the short term. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with being cautious.
Right. Any significant injuries on the Steelers? I don't know. I think they've been healthy all year.
Yeah, I think we've been all right now. Hoping that it don't change. So.
I mean, if anything, I'm hoping Big Ben blow up that arm. I'm waiting on it.
I mean, that's usually inevitable at some point, but something doesn't happen.
Go for the arm?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I'm just saying.
He got the surgery. We good now.
He been looking wobbly a few times. I'm just saying.
Nah, we good.
As long as he's staying out them college.
On the sideline massaging his shoulders. He good.
As long as he's massaging his own shoulder.
Hold on.
No. You know his history, man.
All right.
I knew he was going to go somewhere.
Had to make sure.
The moment he said, as long as he's not on the college, I was like, hold on for a second. Let's keep going.
You got to have supervision, parental supervision around that dude. Hide your kids, hide your wife.
All right, so with that being said, we're going to go to break real quick. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about how these teams are going. And at this because we're at week 8, week 9, right? Yep. So we're going to talk about this, have like a little mid-season vote, see how these teams have been doing so far. So we'll see y'all in a minute. But yeah, we back and we're about to talk, you know, mid-season, like little mid-season votes. We're going to talk about how each team has been performing. And first off, we're going to start with the Steelers. So who want to take that off? You want to take it off, T, or what about you, Dustin, since it's your team?
You know what? I'm going to let him go. I'm going to let you have his.
Yeah, go ahead, Dustin.
Man, I think we doing good. I think we're gonna end good. Super Bowl bound.
All right.
Y'all know how it's going. I think this is our 7th ring.
7.
Did you say you put coffee on or put liquor on?
Right? That's what I'm thinking.
I think you had a shot.
Y'all not even the best team in the AFC.
I'm having a shot of victory after we get that 7th ring this year.
Never gave you no wins. Continue.
Okay.
So, but no, I mean, for real though, we looking good. We looking good. I don't see us not beating the Cowboys Sunday. So, I mean, and then, honestly, like I had told T-Naz earlier, I feel like if we can get through Kansas City, it's pretty much like coasting straight through. Because
wait, y'all got Kansas City on the schedule?
Nah, but if in the playoffs,
okay,
we got Kansas City, but if we can get through the playoffs, because I'm pretty sure our regular season, I think we good. The playoffs, if we end up hitting Kansas City, I think that's when it's like crap. But we don't know, so you never know.
Right.
That's what I love about football. You never know. Like I was telling him earlier, like it could be 1 second and you think, oh, we got it. Nah. Like, make a win.
I know that feeling. I know. I felt that a few times.
Well, you're a long way from Kansas, Toto. Yeah. Chiefs ain't gonna be no softies. But I mean, I'll give them this. The Steelers are playing football. Like it ain't. You used to over the last couple of years it was Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, Big Ben. It was the 3 Bs. It was high octane attack. The defense was cool. They were all Steelers historically win a lot. They've always done pretty well, but they usually have a type of aura to them that's not always the best, at least to me, as far as personality wise. This Steelers team is more of a lunch pail kind of team. They don't really. It's not a lot of drama to it. It's not a lot of prima donna stuff. It's not a lot of just extraness that you find a lot with that organization. This is just they get their helmets on, they put the pads on, they go play football, and they come home. And
we got rid of AB.
Yeah, that was a big problem. He did what he had to do on the field, but the locker room he did equally enough damage. I'll definitely give that. But I can't hate this. I hate the Steelers fans more than anything.
Ouch.
But we are.
I mean,
I still hate your fandom.
It's the gloating fans.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's more of Sixburg. It's bro. The last champion was the Chiefs. I don't care about what used to happen, especially when they act like the Browns fans or Bengals or anybody. Period, can't talk about their previous championships, but the Steelers 6-person, which most people that scream that all the time have only seen 1 or 2 of them championships being won.
I mean, technically, we ain't got no championships over in Cincinnati.
You made a Super Bowl.
We got like 2 Super Bowl appearances, no ring.
But bring that up, you hear Steelers fans 6-bird. It's like something wrong with them. But that's what makes them annoying. Right. But at the same time, I don't think like their team has done too much to rub me the wrong way, because they just do it the right way, pretty much. So I mean, I still don't enjoy watching them play. I hate them towels. I hate their stadium. I hate Heinz ketchup. I hate everything.
Hold on, relax.
I'll burn it up.
I'll
set it ablaze.
You know what happens when you burn our towels and you do something to our towels.
I don't care.
You know what happened to your team when that happened.
They can't. I'm a Browns fan.
Y'all go ahead.
It ain't
Y'all
too
go
much.
ahead and mess up that terrible.
It ain't too much worse.
Hey, you know the curse. You already know.
I'll do whatever. I got a million different things that I can do with that towel. I'm gonna tell you that much.
That's crazy.
But I mean, anyway, like I mean, they should be commended, even though it burns me up at this present moment. To give them as much love as I have to sit up here and give them. I'm not going to feel right. I might throw up after I leave this. But fair is fair, and I pride myself on keeping it 100 all the time. And the 100 thing about this is that the Steelers are playing great football, and they look like a great, solid team. I still don't see them being no type of contender or nothing like that. That record, it doesn't move me. You won all your games. Cool, bravo. Do what you have to do. But at the same time, you could lose the next 7 games. I don't see that being likely. But I don't want a Deshaun Jackson their touchdown that quick. I'm not going to celebrate early for the Steelers. It is what it is. They're doing what they have to do, but let's see it all play out. But from the midseason, they're obviously the team of the division, and not just by the record, but who they beat. You beat the Browns, you beat the Ravens. Those are the two teams that are going to challenge you for that spot, and you beat the Browns handily, and you outplayed the Ravens. You came back against the Ravens.
It's less they outplayed the Ravens and more the Ravens outplayed themselves.
Well, I
I'll
mean,
be honest.
at the end of the day, they came away with the dub. So that's all that matters. So
A win is a win.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we count alphabets. We don't count numbers.
touche.
Yeah.
But they do what they had to do. So I mean, I'll give them that now. Let's just stay on it because that's the next step. Like it's one thing to get from not being in the playoffs to making the playoffs, which the Steelers are looking to do. But it's another thing to go from a playoff team to a championship winning team. So let's see if they can do that. Or if we're gonna have to hear Sixburg, oh Big Ben in 2008.
Now you're gonna have to bring me back in February so we can
I mean, ain't nothing gonna happen. We gonna bring you back. You ain't gonna be all decked out as Steelers yet.
I sure am. Nope. With another ring.
I make sure to bring my gasoline and my matches next time. Set this thing ablaze.
If anything, I gotta say, I'm kind of where T at. I could respect their play. Well, slightly respect it because they haven't played anyone. I mean, they played the Titans. They played the Ravens. The Browns is the Browns. Nobody really cares about the Browns.
Chill. We 5-3. Calm down.
Once again, nobody cares about the Browns. I mean,
we're a good football team.
Two of their wins is against us, and they barely won that.
Break up the Bengals, though. That's a great team over there.
They barely beat us at times,
That team just beat the Titans. What are you talking? That is the Titans. Man, they were in the championship game in the AFC last year, so that's a tough team over there in Cincinnati.
But yeah,
they're doing a down and away and everything.
I could respect at least like two of their wins for the Steelers. They are the top team, and yeah, they can lose a few after since this is the midseason. Like I said, they got Cincinnati after Dallas. That's a trap game. To be honest, that is a true trap game. I said the Ravens was one. We all saw what happened. We got blown out. I think mostly we laid the goose egg. Then we got like 3 points.
They got that field goal that made that defensive coordinator hotter than the collie. He was not happy about that.
Not happy at all.
I want to call your mother, chump.
But yeah, like that one's a true trap game. If they look down upon us, we could take that one. But the Steelers are at top. So let's talk the Baltimore Ravens right now.
They have a good record.
That's it.
But they haven't. Yeah, but they haven't wowed me.
Like the Browns, they haven't wowed anyone.
I'm expecting more out of Lamar Jackson. Like I really did expect more.
I'm gonna start you put the gloves on, but I'm gonna digress. You want to show out in front of company today? All right, cool. But no, I mean, I just the Ravens. I don't know if they're coasting or what, but it's just that something's not there. I mean, they're 5-2, so it's nothing to sneeze at. But at the same time, something's not there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're trying to saran wrap Lamar Jackson and kind of keep him safe and learn different things, work on different stuff. But it's just the Ravens aren't Ravens anymore. If that makes any sense to you, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, to be honest, I can't remember who said it. It might have been, I think it might have been either Nick or Brandon on First Names First. But one of them said at some point it seems like the defense has figured out that offensive coordinator and what he has planned for Lamar.
Well, I mean, the offense wasn't super hard to figure out. It was just that.
I mean, last year it seemed like they could stop him. It's like they figuring out Lamar in that offense.
Well, I mean, he, like we talked about on here, he had to take another step.
Right.
Because just like I said about the playoff champion thing, it's another step to go from good to great. I think that the Ravens had a great regular season. But look through historically the NFL, team after team after team has had an outstanding regular season. Not often that those same teams with the best regular season going to win a championship because it kind of reminisces of NBA basketball, where teams have more time to cover you, more time to focus on what you do, more time to prepare, and that kind of bites you in the end, opposed to going through the regular season when everything is just kind of like, we play it by ear. So I think with the Ravens, it was just more so make Lamar Jackson beat us with his arm because that's what makes them average, or that's what makes them just like everybody else. It's the fact that Lamar Jackson has to stand in that pocket. Once Lamar Jackson gets out there and starts skedaddling, it's a problem. So if you can keep that, kind of together, it's a trickle down thing. Now your running game ain't as great because of Lamar Jackson is bottled up. Now your play action ain't as great. I was reading earlier today. He's talking about having to get Hollywood the ball more, Hollywood Brown the ball more. Well, that's only a problem because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing as far as your quarterback. They're expecting Hollywood Brown to still be the same Hollywood Brown last year, where most of the things you're doing is catch little in arounds here and there, mostly blocking, catch little short passes, might throw deep a couple times here and there to keep the defense honest. But for the most part, it was a run first offense. So now that they're trying to make him, it's kind of like they want to make Lamar Jackson what he was named as the MVP. And you can't do that by switching up what made him him. So I don't know if it's necessarily the defense doing it or if it's the Ravens switching up their offense, or if it's a little combination of both. But there's just something off about that Ravens team.
Okay. What about you, Dustin?
No, I agree. Because like I said, I expected a little more out of Lamar Jackson, and especially when they played us, it was a huge rivalry. So I really expected a little more, but it just they played us good, but it's something missing. It's like you can't put your finger on it. Like there's something missing.
All right.
It's like maybe they're not connected or something. Like,
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely say that about them. Like you said, the run game ain't the same as it was last year. Because when Lamar's running all over the field, that opens it up for Mark Ingram or whoever's in the backfield to take off also. Because you wouldn't expect him to run. And then the pass game ain't really that because he can't find his favorite target at times. He can't find Mark Andrews, and then if you can't find the tight end, you got to rely on your receivers. But he never been the best accurate, especially with the deep ball. Also, there's times he'll sell the ball over somebody's head, or he just missed the target at times. So yeah, it's really just that, like, the offense not clicking. The defense seems to still be holding up though.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's the thing that you have to watch out for is that the defense can keep you in the games and kind of make it seem like you're a good team.
Right.
Because you have to do so much. And again, it's not like the Ravens are a bad team right now.
I mean, to be honest, they kind of I wouldn't say they remind me because I don't remember it all like that, but they kind of remnant of the 2000 Ravens. I want to say that's the one that won the Super Bowl.
With Trent Dilfer? No.
Like I'm not saying 100% like that, but he not making passes.
No, but Trent Dilfer was just.
I mean, he was terrible. He was awful.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, in the way that the defense is saving them and keeping them in games, like that's how they won that Super Bowl.
Yeah. That plays a role, but at the same time, I just think that it kind of, I don't want to say he's exposed, but he's not that though. He's
Right.
not going to pick you apart. So you can't not want him to be getting hit because that's what makes him him. If Lamar Jackson's not moving with his feet, then you might as well put Robert Griffin in there. Like, to me, because Robert Griffin is probably a better just drop back quarterback than where Lamar Jackson is at this present moment. He's really just a one read and go kind of dude. That's why Mark Andrews is his biggest target because it's the tight end is always a quarterback's best friend, especially young quarterback. He just has to take it to that next level. And again, I don't know if they're just trying to hold off stuff and go very vanilla and try to unleash him later on, because that could be the thing where we felt like we gave the world too much last year and then we had nothing at the end. So I'm not discounting that, but I'm just saying this, like, we all can agree on there's just something not quite right.
So you're saying they could just be like they got something up their sleeve. They playing ugly football. They know they're gonna win what they're gonna win. Like you said, they're gonna win the games that you expect them to win, but the big games they not. So when it comes playoff time for those big games, they're going to unleash them.
Maybe. Or that could just be who they are. Because over the last what, like 6 or 7 games, they have not fared well in those big time games.
Right.
So it could be that, or it could be you're just not as good. You're not playing bums every week. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the best of the best. When you get around them, you know what I'm saying? Can you bully the bully? That's the question of the day: is can you bully the bully? And sometimes that doesn't work out for you. So it's a matter of that. You know what I'm saying? Like when you, because it wasn't. I know you said something about Pat Mahomes with the Steelers, but speaking of the Ravens, who were at the top of the AFC last year, they would have thought they would have had to worry about the Chiefs too. It wasn't them. It was the Titans that came through and did them. And the Titans basically out the Baltimore Ravens. You know what I'm saying? It was a run game, defense, smart quarterback play, and we out of here. And I think that they're more prepared at the moment than the Ravens might be because they'll run into the same problem. Make Lamar Jackson beat us, then we'll beat you. So we'll see. He's gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah, but we all agreed they just not connecting somewhere. Hopefully they get it together because if there's one team that always beat up on us that I respect, it is the Baltimore Ravens. I don't respect them Steelers. I can't. That's a trash can over there in Pittsburgh. I'm sorry.
I don't ever win.
That's crazy. But moving on to another team that never wins, let's talk about the Browns.
Oh yeah, that's your segue. We are 5-3. Let me remind you again, which is above average. At this present moment, if the playoffs start today, we'll be a playoff team. Put that in your Bengals pipe and smoke it.
Go ahead, start
But anyway, I'm happy-ish. I mean, obviously, I'm a Browns fan, so being 5-3 is basically like the Super Bowl. Cancel the freaking season. We out of here. We're going to Disney World and Disneyland. This is beautiful. What is it, Velvet? I'll take all of it. But to be on the real, we're cool, but I still think there's a lot to be desired. That defense ain't it. We have pieces out there for sure, but that linebacker core needs to be touched a lot. We need to get healthy. Greedy Williams needs to come back. Delpit being out hurts us because Sandejo stinks, but he's a solid enough guy to put back there. But a lot of games we're going to have to win. Now, with that being said, we played great defense last week against the Raiders. Even though we lost, it was still a great defensive game. I know the weather had a lot to do with it, but at the same time, you see strides here and there. But far too often, even with the wins, it had to be a shootout. There's no way when we played against the Bengals that it should have been that high scoring of a game. We could not stop the Bengals for nothing that second game. It took Baker being Baker Montana.
Really stopped them the first game.
No, but that's why it worries me as a Browns fan, and that was one of my biggest worries before. We've definitely touched this time and time again on this show about that defense being something that it concerns me. That offense, it looked great on paper, and we definitely performed well. I mean, outside
when
of
you got all cylinders working, that offense is unstoppable at times.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a hard time being consistent, especially, like I said, Baker Mayfield is either Baker Mayfield or Baker Manziel. Each week, you don't know which one you will have.
Bipolar.
I mean,
Manziel.
that's what he be. Like you put him and Manziel side by side. Some days you can't tell the difference.
I get that.
And that's something again. Lamar Jackson, and that's one thing that we kind of tend to forget, especially with somebody like Patrick Mahomes. He's an anomaly. I know he ain't been in the league that long and he's dominated, but a lot of times young quarterbacks it's a process. So I'm not super mad at the Ravens for being where they are because I understand it's a process. You have to get better. You have to take strides. You're still young. That's not lost on Baker Mayfield either. He's still, these guys are still in that rookie contract thing. So you can expect some inconsistency, but at the same time, you have to take your game to a next level and you have to be somewhat consistent because outside of your consistency and being where you need to be, that can leave you out of a job. Baker Mayfield could end up being backing up Case Keenum shortly if he doesn't consistently get it together. Because if I'm looking at you that can be high one day and super low the next day, you're telling me you're an 8-8 quarterback for the rest of your life. that means we're not making no playoffs. That means we're not making no strides. That means we average forever. That means you can't be our quarterback. So he has to figure it out just like Lamar Jackson has to figure out. And it's up to both of them to really ultimately decide where their teams are going to go. Am I happy about 5-3? Yes. Because 2 years ago we were 0-5 at this 0-8 at this point in time. Throwing a freaking parade. So I'm happy for any wins we get, but at the same time, keeping it real requires me to say that defense plays like poop. We have pieces, but we need to play better all around with that, man.
I still can't believe y'all threw a parade.
I didn't throw nothing. I threw a hissy fit and find out about the parade, but I mean, it is what it is, though. I mean, again, if you'd have told me at the beginning of this season that we'll be 5-3 after 8 games, I'd have took it. So, I mean, I'm not happy at the moment because we're coming off a loss and we have a bye to have to deal with. But I'm still cool being 5-3. So we'll take it. I looked for us to make some type of deal at the deadline, get a little defensive help. We didn't do any of that, but we'll see what that bye week does. Because that's one thing with Stefanski we don't know. You know, how does he teach at this point? I think the bye came at a great time, especially with the Odell Beckham injury happening. Now we can kind of have an extra week of practice with the people who are going to be here and see what we can do. Maybe we get Hooper back too. You know, so that's another piece. I think the Browns more than anything. I know the Ravens and Steelers ain't really had too many injuries, problems to deal with, but the Browns have been the team in that division to have to deal with the most injuries. And to be 5-3, I'll take it.
Okay. What about you, Dustin? How they looking to you?
I mean, they. You know what? All things considered, it's the Browns.
All right.
And they are looking good for 5-3. Like that's fine. That's fine. Because I mean, like he said, nobody expected them to get 5. So
I definitely did.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, that's good for them, man. So
all right. I mean, I'm kind of on that same boat. I'm surprised they got 5. I'm surprised they 5-3. I'm surprised they 2-0 against us, to be honest. Like last year, we went 1-1. This year they 2-0. I'm surprised about that. I'm truly, and especially on my second game, we should have had that. But who was it? I want to say it was Darius Phillips. How you gonna turn
Donovan Peoples-Jones? Oh no, Darius Phillips.
Yeah, it was Darius Phillips on. Was it Donovan Peoples-Jones?
Touchdown.
Yeah, how you gonna turn the wrong way and then you still didn't make a play on that ball? That was right there for you for the picking.
This would never happen if Marvin Lewis was still the coach.
That's actually true. That never would have. That defense played different under Marvin Lewis. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, they still wouldn't have won.
Nah, they would have won. They would have won. All right, under Marvin Lewis, we didn't go 0-8 under Marvin Lewis. All right, we went 8-0 under Marvin Lewis. That's the difference. But yeah, them Browns is they shocking me. They shocking me. They showing up. They are the team right now in Ohio that you expect to, show up, play good, play hard football. You don't expect much under their cousins down south. So yeah, I guess. And speaking of them cousins down south, let's talk about these Bengals going into this bye with a win. How y'all grade them?
Break up the Bengals, baby. They out there. I like it. Nah, but I mean, all things, seriously, that's the Joe Burrow thing. The same thing that we're talking about with Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield that we had to worry about a little bit. That ain't the same thing with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is bringing out the quarterback position, and that's a great start. Him and T. Higgins connecting like they've been connecting. Great start. It looks like the Dalton AJ Green thing all over again. It seems like that's why they picked him up. It seems like that's why John Ross is packing his bags and crying himself out of Cincinnati because he got his job took. And that's the thing that kind of gets me. He act like he deserved a job or something. He act like he did anything to earn this job that he crying about.
When he was playing, he either dropped balls or he was catching deep balls. It's like, you a one-trick pony, man. I'm sorry, you gotta go.
Man, he mad that he getting splinters on that bench, and Mike Thomas is getting run over him. But at the end of the day, I think that it's not about John Ross. Nobody cares about that. But it's about Joe Burrows and the pieces that you have around him. Shout out to the offensive line last game.
Oh, that whole offensive line was backups. They protected him.
That was crazy.
You had Clowney out there. I mean, that was also Joe. That pocket presence was crazy. He talking about he just tapping into a little bit of his potential.
Yeah, that's scary.
That's real scary.
But at the same time, one thing you have to understand is Joe Burrows is old for a rookie. He's about to be 24, so he's.
Hold up, pause. I'm the same age. What you talking about?
Well, you'll be old for a rookie too.
that's-
Like, what you talking? Take my words back? You
Yes.
say something different?
Football age.
Because you old? Nah. But I mean,
You up there with Tom Brady?
for him, it's just if I'm scratching the surface, he still has a long way to go. But to be able to be of his advanced age and be where he is, that's still a whole nother level. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't want Joe Burrows to come in and make all those younger mistakes because he is a lot older and he is a lot developed. So to see him coming in, and actually do that, that's what makes it a little sweeter. He knew that he had to get on the right path with AJ Green too, and he's done that. I think Joe Mixon coming back that'll help him a lot. That offensive line, maybe the offensive line playing the way that they did last Sunday, it kind of gives this offensive line a little push because I've never seen nothing like this. 4 of the offensive line gone, and then they get replaced with.
Yeah, I mean, like you got Billy Price out there. You would have said Billy Price is out there blocking. A lot of people would have been like, no, put him back on the bench. But Billy, he did his thing. I want to say, what's his name? Was it Frank Johnson? Fred Johnson?
Yeah, Fred Johnson.
Yeah, Fred Johnson did his thing. I can't even remember who else was out there, but they was all backups.
They dominated from the start of the game to the end of it, man.
And starters don't come out and they get him sacked more than once in a game. It's time to put them down. Start them backups.
But that's what you need, though. Like, you need baby steps. And for Zach Taylor, you need that because that keeps your job. You need to show that we're making strides. And to the Bengals' credit, outside of the Ravens game, they haven't been blown out.
Yeah.
That's the next step for a young team. And again, the social media aspect of it, I think, has a lot to do with it. But the whole letting things play out, they don't have that anymore. So people want to see quick turnarounds, quick changes, all that. You kind of forget about the process. So right now, the Bengals they just came from the ground floor. They're at like the second, third floor of this process. But if they do things the right way, they can have a 10-year stretch of sustained success. And they already have a great start. So it's just, to me, for them, they just have to keep chipping away. And you're not worried about the playoffs this year, obviously, but you're worried about being better than the person you were last year, being better than the team that you were last year, and making strides. So when they are good, you're on those teams. You want to see T. Higgins catching passes from Joe Burrows when you're good. You want to see Joe Mixon running on guys when you're good. They're doing a good job with getting veterans out there that didn't really, really want to be there, that deserve a chance to get shipped out. That's why Carlos Dunlap's going. But that should open up the spot for somebody else. They didn't have to do that with John Ross because his value was low, and they'll probably get more for him than just let him walk. So it's about, making strides, and I think for the Bengals' credit, they are doing just that. So, record notwithstanding, they have some optimism to be looking forward to.
Okay, how about you, Dustin? How the Bengals looking to you?
I mean, I hate everything football when it comes to Ohio, but except Ohio State.
Okay, I was about to
But
say,
no, they're looking pretty good. Especially their last game. They pulled through. They pulled through. So I'm kind of interested to see what happens next. I'm interested to play them and see how they go when it comes to a real team. So,
I'm a real team.
That was at your Browns. He looked at you twice when you said real team.
Man,
I mean,
these cameras go off at some point in time.
Is that all you have to say, Dustin?
yeah.
Okay. Look, what I gotta say is there's 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and 85 is always gonna be open. I am loving this connection between 9 and 85 right now. Okay, I'm loving that. I missed that 14 to 18, but that's whatever. Andy, he down in Dallas now.
It is something about that 985, huh?
Yeah, it's something about that 985.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't catch that one, did you? You must be John Ross.
I kind of got it after you said you didn't catch it.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, that 985 connection, I'm loving it. It's gonna hopefully it blossoms into something great. I love that we got that dub against the Titans. I mean, I didn't expect us to get it. I really expected Derrick Henry to run all over us. I wanted Lou out of there, but that defense showed up. It showed up tremendously. It really did. And they played complimentary football going into this bye. That's boost of morale. So when we come out and we go up against this probably still undefeated Steelers, we're gonna have a whole lot of just energy to smack them in the mouth, and that's all I could ask for.
Gang.
Yes, sir. That's all I could ask for. But we're gonna take another break, and then when we come back, we're gonna since we've been talking about them all show, we're gonna recap a little bit for the week 8, and then we're gonna talk the week 9 matchups. So catch you on in a minute.
We back. Back
in. What's it looking like? Man, this is crazy. All right. Trump talking about he about to go to Supreme Court. Man, come on, man. Just take the L. All right.
I mean, we all said, Bengals playing that surprised us. We also said that the Raiders.
I will say this. I won't say surprising or anything, but I will say it's a little concerning.
Dang, I wasn't even on. My mic was off. That's crazy.
You fried, bro. Fried.
I said all that. My mic was off. Hope they picked it up.
But anyway, what I find concerning is the fact that if Vegas can play in Cleveland, cool. The cold weather is doing something to you. That has to work to our advantage. It seemed like last week against the Raiders, it worked to our disadvantage. But we're Cleveland Browns. We should be able to play better in the cold. So maybe it was an anomaly. But I do find that a bit concerning, considering that logic would have told you that it should have went the other way. So.
Right. I'm gonna pitch in on that one because I'm gonna tell you this. I lived in Vegas for a little while. It gets cold.
It gets real cold in Vegas.
It gets real cold, and they practice when it get cold. So they cool. They like let's go on to Cleveland and beat them.
Listen, there is cold. And there's Cleveland cold.
Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, just being in the desert and it gets cold in the desert.
But we ain't even got there yet, so I'm interested to see, And then, like honestly, not everybody that plays for Vegas is from Vegas,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So there might be some people that literally grew up and lived in Cleveland or Ohio, period, and they like, we know the bipolar weather. Let's play this game.
I mean, but you playing right off Lake Erie, that's the different type of freezing.
I mean, I get all of that, but at the same time, all that's fine, well, and good. You're still the Cleveland Browns and you play in Cleveland.
Right.
So there's no team that should be able to come in and at least better off in the cold. Like if I lose, I lose. You came in, you were able to do what you had to do to be able to beat me. But we kind of beat ourselves, pause, because of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
could have just let that go by.
No. You have to pause it. Like,
you could have just let that go by.
You can't just sit here and say you could have beat ourselves and then not pause it. Then I have to deal with the fact that I didn't pause it.
I was drinking.
Nah, man. I want to deal with that. But did we get canceled again?
More than likely.
But anyway, like you have to. That's what a home field advantage is.
Right.
I get the crowd ain't there like it used to be, COVID and all that. But you have to have some type of advantage. Just like Vegas should have that the other way around. If you come into Vegas, like it shouldn't. The hot weather can affect you too. So that should be something that will, if Vegas takes a loss because the hot weather, did them in, they weren't exactly in shape to handle the hot weather, that will be concerning for them. So I just think that the Browns need to get that together because you're going to have way more games like that. Now, maybe that was a Chubb factor not being there that really, really hurt him. And there was a lot of drop balls, too. So Baker would take a lot of this flack, but there was a lot of drop balls that came in that during that game that he put right on the money. So it ain't his fault all the way. But I'm not sweating too much, but it is something that I'm side eyeing. So we'll see how we respond as time goes on and moves further. But I won't say I was surprised, but I do say that it was a little bit concerning.
Okay. All I can say about that Browns game, I didn't watch much. I was too busy watching another Ohio team that can handle the cold actually win. So I wasn't watching that.
See what happens when they beat the Titans. All this.
You said big 'em up. You said big 'em up. I said the lowly Bengals. You said, come on, don't do that to them. So,
but you gotta take shots at my squad, though.
I got to.
Hey. You won't get yours, B.
I'll take shots at his squad when we beat
I'll
him.
take shots at his squad. Just that moment they lose, I'll make sure to have you on
I'll
the
take
show.
shots right now because they should have lost that game against the Ravens. Like I said, that was the Ravens beating themselves up more than the Steelers winning.
Dub is a dub.
Keisha Cole should have cheated too, so it is what it is.
A dub is a dub. I'll take it.
All right. So, anything else y'all want to say about the Week 8 matchups?
No, I mean, I think we talked about them enough.
All right.
We'll just see what happens going forward.
Yeah, I'm just ready to see what happens this week coming up. Honestly, I'm hoping we play. I mean, we're doing good, but I'm hoping we play better than we did when we played the Ravens. Because honestly, if we keep playing like that, the games is getting a little too close lately. These last two games we played, they're getting a little too close. Like honestly, like we almost lost the Titans. Like straight up, we almost lost. If he would have made that kick, it would have been over. So I want to not.
Yeah, you want to just win the games. You got to win. Yeah, I get that. So speaking of that, let's talk these Week 9 matchups. Or what's going on Week 9? I mean, the Browns and the Bengals are both on a bye, so there ain't much to talk about that. They just go into that bye and then relax their body, get healed up, just take their time off.
I think you still technically you can't play nobody,
right?
But I think you still can win the bye week, and by that I mean get healthy.
Okay. I was like, what?
By that I mean
I feel like I said the same thing. He tried to say he tried to romanticize the bye week.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. What I'm alluding to is like Andy Reid, spectacular bye record. You know why? Because he does coach them up.
Right.
He works on stuff. He installs different game plans. He extra prepares for the next team that he's going to face. He looks back at the stuff that they use the bye week wisely. There's other coaches that just rest, come back next week. You have a week off. You know what I mean? So that's not necessarily winning the bye week because you're looking at that bye week as a week off. It's not a week off. It's a week that you don't have to play a game. It's two different things. So how do you practice during that time frame? What do you do to get better that take you, because you don't have no more bye weeks after this. I mean, obviously that's something that doesn't necessarily need to be said, but I think it still needs to be said. The fact that this is it for you. So how you use this and how you take it can determine your season. So we'll see how they use the bye weeks.
And that's another thing, with us. Y'all got to remember too, we ain't had a bye because thanks to the Titans.
I mean, week 3 was a bye.
Huh?
Week 3 was a bye for y'all.
Man, we ain't really had a bye though. We've been playing.
This one count as your bye though.
We've been playing. Unless we play one of y'all, that's a bye. But we ain't.
Okay, so we definitely smacking them. All right.
But for real though, like we've been playing game after game after game every week.
Right.
And we still been coming out on top.
I would like to just say Mike Tomlin did come out and say we don't care. We will play.
Like, we don't care.
We'll play 12 to 16 weeks straight. So hey.
It sound good. So you got to play 12 to 16 weeks.
We doing it.
All right, let's see how the season finishes.
Still 7-0 right now.
Right now.
Yeah, that's the big emphasis on that word. Right now.
It's about to be 8-0 after we beat the Cowboys.
And then it's gonna be 8-1.
Until Cooper Rush though for 370 and 3 touchdowns. I'm enjoy that.
Cooper
Man.
Rush.
You ain't gonna get me to shut up. That might be what next week's show is all about. We ain't talk about nobody else.
But yeah, going back on that bye week, I didn't want to say all that, but that's why we got T over here and me right here, because he gonna give it all in detail. But he right about that. You gotta win that week. You gotta, revisit that playbook, take out plays that don't work. Definitely Zach Taylor, take out plays that don't work, please. But at the same time, he did do a good job with that offense against the Titans. So that's just all you gotta do. Rework the plays, rework the playbook. Make sure your team is resting. Make sure your team is healing up. All that. But yeah. So we got that bye week out of the way. The Ravens got the Colts, and the Steelers got the Cowboys.
I would say the Ravens Colts is an underrated big game.
Yeah, that's another big game. That's really like the Colts are probably about the third or fourth best team in the AFC.
Yeah, they're 5-2.
Yeah.
They played well. They're kind of like the Steelers as far as you can name T.Y. Hilton, Smith Schuster, but it's not all me. The Colts are just a football team. They're a well-rounded football team. It's not a lot of household names, so to speak, but they have a lot of guys that know how to play winning football.
I thought you was gonna say that is like the Steelers in the fact that they got the whole team but the quarterback. I thought you was gonna say it like that.
Well, ironically enough, they have the both of their quarterbacks. They come from the same draft class. Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger. They're both old, but they're both still effective.
Somehow, I don't know how.
They're both exactly what their team needs, because Mason Rudolph and his knothead was Stinky McPoop, but he's better off holding that clipboard and holding that L. Either way, he's better off holding something.
Not a football.
Exactly. Not everything but a football.
I know that's my team, but man, I was so mad with him. He made me mad.
You was happy with Duck though?
I was happier with me going in more than him.
That's crazy.
Because I'm just like, it's not cool.
Last Duck I had love for was on the 5 heartbeats.
Oh, that has to be an old thing. I don't know what that. I don't know what that was. That went way over my head.
What? Get it together. You know they coming.
No, I don't know what's coming.
You need to be prepared, man. You've been doing this too long now. No more.
Oh man.
But no, it wouldn't shock me if they beat the Ravens. It will shock the rest of the world, I think.
It wouldn't shock me.
But they're not paying attention. Again, football it's like a car. Everything has to work right for it to really drive right. Same thing with the football team. Because there's one thing that goes wrong, it's like the brakes. That O-line, goes out, or if somebody misses the block, we're done. And I think the Colts, they kind of play with a small margin of error, kind of. They just do everything textbook, do everything fundamental. They do everything like they just play winning football. So, I respect a lot of their organization and what they do. But if they want to be taken seriously and be talked about like the big dogs, they have to win this game against the Ravens. And I think the Ravens is kind of the same thing, because the Colts aren't one of those teams that are kind of haunting the Ravens right now as far as one of the teams they couldn't beat, but they're still a good enough team where it means something if you can beat them. So for the Ravens, I think that it's equally a big enough game for both of them. Now, it's not the biggest game on the schedule. I think going forward with all the teams in the AFC North, the biggest games on that schedule is the teams that they play in the AFC North. But outside of that, having a barometer game is a good way to see where you're at. And the Ravens against the Colts, you can't find them better. So we'll see.
What about you, Dustin?
I'm hoping the Colts beat the Ravens. Come on. I'm gonna be biased. I don't care. I hope that they beat them. But just to not just because of who they're playing, but I kind of want them to show something different. Show people like, all right, we can roll with the big dogs too. Because I feel like the Colts most of the time are an underrated team. Because you flip through the TV and you'll see the Colts, you're like, whatever, it's just a game.
Right.
Sometimes.
Like they don't breed the noise factor.
Yeah. They don't. Be like, "Ooh, I gotta watch that Colts game." Nobody really does that unless you're a fan.
Right.
True.
So yeah, I would love to see them win.
They're kind of like the Titans of last year in a way, because the Titans last year they hung around the whole year, and then they made the playoffs, and it was like,
Yeah, you was just surprised.
Yeah.
and then you see them in the divisional, the championship, the AFC championship game, and it's like they're a real good team. And then you look at them this year, and it's like they're a real good team.
I mean,
Where did they come from?
It wasn't a real good team last week. I'll tell you.
Well, I mean, no, but
He gonna ride on that. For
yes, sir.
That's cool.
But still, I mean, you would have not looked at if the Bengals beat the Titans last year, it didn't look the same way as it does this year. Now, if the Bengals don't win another game this year, they still can hang their hat on when we beat the Titans, and that's just saying something, And if the Colts, same division, if they want to do the same kind of thing again, it starts with beating the Ravens. That is a great start, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, y'all both make good points. They need to beat the Ravens, and with beating the Ravens, that will bring just noise back to Indianapolis because they just been that team since they gave away Peyton and Andrew Luck left. They just been like, it's the Colts. Like, what they doing this year? Nobody really cares.
And fun fact, they have a history too. The Colts and the Ravens. Baltimore used to be the Baltimore Colts. And now the Ravens are the Baltimore Ravens. I guess they both were into stealing teams from other cities.
See, I didn't want to bring this up. Why you gotta bring this up?
Because I'm always going to bring it up, Rondell.
Old man over here, he know all the history.
Yes, yeah.
Wasn't Cleveland something else before though?
No, we aren't Cleveland. So we got our team stolen. And then they threw Ray Lewis and
Stolen.
Ed
It
Reed
was
on
less
that
they got
team.
their team stolen and more like the owner said Baltimore's a better market. It was less stolen and more better market.
All right, when you run into Omar and Marlowe, you tell me Baltimore's a better
They not on that side of Baltimore. They not on that side. They on the beautiful side of Baltimore.
You see how much Omar walked? He everywhere, or he was. R.I.P.
R.I.P. That's crazy. All right. But yeah, so let's talk to Steelers Cowboys. I mean they should be expected to win that game.
Man, if this was 1997, boy, this would be the game of the year, game of the decade. Where's Neil O'Donnell when you need him? But no.
I'm gonna say this, not to cut you off, but I'm gonna say this. We haven't played the Cowboys in a little while, and I was really looking forward. Like, this gonna be a good game. I'm ready to play the Cowboys. I know a lot of friends and family that's Cowboy fans. I'm ready to talk my mess.
Wait, in Ohio?
Yeah, in Ohio.
That's disappointing.
Then I see how they playing, and I'm like, dang, I'm not really even excited no more because I'm like,
they playing like they quarterback.
yeah, I'm like, I wanted the old Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? I wanted a good game from the Cowboys. But now it looks like we just gonna have to run through them.
I mean, if Andy Dalton was at quarterback, they may have like a slim chance, just a slim chance. But they got Ben DiNucci.
He ain't gonna be there no more.
They about to put in Cooper. What's his name? Cooper Rush.
Yep.
They about to put in Cooper Rush.
When he starts Sunday?
Yeah. They just said they don't know who's. Yeah, they don't know who's going to start, but they just know DiNucci's
they don't
not.
know who's going to start.
They just know DiNucci's not. It's going to be either Cooper Rush or I forgot the other backup quarterback.
Wait, what? What's the point of having Ben DiNucci then?
They just figured that out. There ain't no point of having Ben DiNucci. That's why he going to be on the bench.
I thought Ben DiNucci
he ain't
was
been
about
here.
to start.
That's what's about to happen. He's about to get some splinters.
So might as well put Zeke at quarterback and Tony at running back. Might as well.
They might as well put Jerry Jones out there as quarterback.
I'm just saying they might as well run the Wildcat the whole time. Just run that.
They might as well go touch somebody with COVID and just call it a day.
Might as well.
Everybody just rub on the COVID person's head.
You might as well bring Andy Dalton off that list.
That's what the Titans was trying to do.
Andy Dalton ain't got no concussion. Andy Dalton got the Cowboys.
Bro, he's on the COVID reserve list right now.
Right.
You might as well take him off that list.
Man, they might as well take the Cowboys off the planet.
Honestly, to be honest, Shannon said it best. They might as well just play this game virtually. All they do is get COVID. They might as well play it virtually.
Hey, now that I think about it, I might pick up that kicker for fantasy purposes. We'll
Might
see.
as well,
But I mean, they still have talent, but it's just nothing happens if your quarterback is just trash. So I mean, it's at this point with Dallas, it's more of an organizational problem. They have way more things that they have to worry about than that quarterback spot and paying that. But on that note, I mean, they might as well open up the checkbook for Dak because they to me they now had a 3D view of what life without Dak is about to be about. So if anything, I know Dak ain't looking at it this way, but Dak's value probably skyrocketed up way higher today by not playing than it probably would have if he was playing.
most definitely. You know? But if they ain't gonna pay Dak, then you better trade every piece you can to get either Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields as they enter the draft.
That's gonna be hard because I don't think for that to happen. I think the team that has that pick needs to want to make a trade, and I don't think anybody has a chance to get Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, the top two teams I think are what? The Jets and the Giants. The Giants still got what's his name? Danny Dimes, Danny Fumbles. They not gonna get rid of Danny Fumbles like that.
I would love, please let the Jets and the Giants be 1-2. Let one of them pass on Trevor Lawrence and watch everything burn down. You telling me? Oh, I'm gonna say no to Trevor Lawrence because I got Daniel Jones. Oh.
I mean, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones.
Oh,
right pass.
See, I believe more in Sam Darnold than I do Daniel Jones.
That's great. He almost beat Tom Brady.
Almost doesn't count.
I forgot. We don't count numbers. We count alphabets. I forgot about that.
Gotta get that W, buddy.
It's either that W or that L. That's what we count over here.
But I mean, as of everything else, we'll have to see how it all plays out. We still have a lot of season left. Again, we're halfway there, but there's still another half left. And if anything, the Atlanta Falcons have showed us have to play all 4 quarters and see how this work out. So let's make sure that we close strong.
We ain't gonna get on Atlanta. Oh my God.
Yeah,
but
I'll leave Atlanta out of here.
Yeah,
Unless we're talking about some Bojangles and come and talk to me.
I don't know nothing about no Bojangles.
Speaking of Bojangles, next time someone goes to Atlanta,
I already know.
That's all I'm saying, brother.
Every time I go down there, he's with my Bojangles.
That's all I'm saying. Grease the man's palms out here.
Grease the man's palms.
Grease the man's palms.
Bojangles. Ain't Bojangles just Popeyes? Like,
watch your mouth in here, bro.
Bro, what are we talking about here? That's
What's
like
wrong with you?
Bro, that's like White Castle. Ain't White Castle just crystals?
Don't you?
Go ahead and cut the show.
I mean, I was gonna cut the show anyway, but y'all started talking about Bojangles. Really? Like you get the equivalent is Popeyes.
You getting no,
just like
there is no equivalent.
Crystal's equivalent is White Castle.
You want some crystals, all right?
What?
Have
you ever had Bojangles?
Nah, I never had.
See,
I'm just saying the equivalent that people look upon is Popeyes.
I don't listen to people to
No.
begin with. I listen to my own.
Were you in line for the chicken sandwich?
Aroma.
No, I definitely wasn't in line for that.
No.
All right, bro. But like,
Bojangles is on its own level.
Bojangles
like
need to have me to sponsor.
That's like saying Popeyes and Chick-fil-A is on the same level.
I mean, Popeyes is better than Chick-fil-A, so we're not gonna talk about it.
I'll give you that.
What? Whoa, are y'all serious?
Yes. I'll give you that.
Man, that's a whole nother discussion.
Now we have Popeyes chicken
show.
and Chick-fil-A sauce. Do we talk something different? I do want that combination. Yeah, man. Listen.
That sauce is not that fire. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, let's cut the food talk, man.
Look,
before it gets bad.
Look, before we cut that, King sauce is better than Chick-fil-A sauce. I'm being honest.
So you gonna pull the Cody?
Really?
I don't even like Cane's like that. You know I don't. I'm just saying the Cane sauce makes that chicken 1,000 times better. Chick-fil-A doesn't. Nah, it doesn't.
I feel like Cody just woke up.
You're fired.
I've been fired every week. I'm about to quit at some point.
Touche.
But yeah.
But technically, I haven't fired you in the last couple weeks.
That's crazy. So. Man, how am I getting fired by the guests? You bringing people on to fire me now?
Touche.
All right, but yeah, that's all I have for the show notes. Any last thing y'all want to say?
I want to thank my homeboy Dustin. Happy you came and checked us out. First Steeler fan on the show.
Yeah, first and last.
He got his flowers today. might be the last. But no, I mean, happy to be back. We were on hiatus for a little bit.
Yeah, like I said in the open gym show, make sure y'all check that out. We was big steppers. We had to step over, like Donald Trump. We had to step over that COVID.
over that threshold. But I mean, happy to have you guys on here. Happy to still be doing this. Happy to talk sports. Happy to have decent weather when I leave this joint. So it's all gravy. Definitely check us out here next week. Same time, same channel. Holla at me. What you got to say, Dust?
And I just want to thank y'all for having me on. I had a
Thanks for coming,
ball, man, talking sports with y'all. I love when I can talk junk about my Steelers. And yeah, follow me at IamD10, director on Instagram. And yeah, y'all need somebody else to show y'all how to play football, just call me.
That's crazy. Once again, like I said, the first and last time we have a Steelers fan on this show.
Number 7, baby.
Now Rondell doing the firing. Stepped up.
Look, but all I gotta say is there's 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and 85 is always gonna be open. Okay, he trying to steal that. All right, I'm done. Look, y'all know my social media is. I'm not even on there, but y'all know my social media. We catch y'all next time.